In this video, we will watch 5 shocking crimes documented by surveillance cameras. What did Kimson do to Grace? How did Dolores save her son from being kidnapped at the last minute? Why did this man point his gun at this woman? Dear viewer, get ready for this. On December 1, 2018. Jess Kimson, a New Zealand citizen, and Grace Mellon, a British tourist, can be seen wandering the bars of Auckland, New Zealand. They had known each other on Tinder before meeting that day. Here is the surveillance camera footage showing Grace Kimson enjoying their time at 9:40 in the evening. They can be seen entering the City Leaf Hotel and entering the elevator to go down to the 3rd floor. Grace looks happy here, but the poor thing does not know what awaits her after this. This was the last time Grace was seen alive. The next morning at 8 a.m. Kimson can be seen alone in the elevator. He left the hotel as you can see in these shots. He went to a nearby store to buy a bag. He seems to be looking for a suitable size to place Grace's body inside. Yes, he killed Grace. He plans to put it in the bag until he takes it out of the hotel. He returned with the bag to the room before leaving again to buy some cleaning supplies. After he returned to the hotel again to put Grace's body inside the bag. He leaves the room again to go on another date via the Tinder application. He can then be seen leaving the hotel with the bag on a cart, then putting it in a car and driving it to the Rengies area, where he buried it. The next day, December 2nd, her parents were unable to contact her. They reported her disappearance immediately. Kimson was arrested on December 8th and Grace's body was found the next day. On February 21, 2020, Kimson was sentenced to life imprisonment, with the possibility of parole after 17 years. On April 20, 2019, Joseph Trevor, a semi-professional footballer player, was detained after security guards at a Newcastle nightclub noticed him carrying a bag containing white powder. The police were called and detained him immediately. When the authorities examined the contents of the bag, they discovered that it contained ketamine, a narcotic substance illegal for recreational use. After his release that same night, he went to the taxi station, where he encountered 18-year-old Megan Newton, whom he knew from school, after he told her of his fear of returning to his parents' house because of his alcohol poisoning. She offered him to stay in her apartment. This video documents Mega's last moments before she was sexually assaulted, strangled until she lost consciousness, and then stabbed in the back several times. Joseph emerges as these shots show, frightened and confused. After leaving her apartment, Trevor can be seen looking at his blood-stained hands. He eventually admitted the charge and was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 21 years. On July 15, 2021, in Queens, New York, Dolores Diaz and her 3 children were on their way to visit their father at his workplace. They can be seen walking on the sidewalk, busy with their affairs and enjoying their day, when suddenly something terrible happens. A man can be seen getting out of a parked car and grabbing the 5-year-old. And he runs away. Fortunately, Dolores and her other children acted immediately to save the 5-year-old child from an attempted kidnapping by a man who tried to drag him into the car. Returning to the cameras, the passenger on the other side can be heard asking the hijacker what he was going to do. He replied that they would take the child. The kidnapper, James Nagel, has been arrested. 24 years old. After he went to hospital to receive treatment for facial injuries after he was involved in an altercation later the same day. It turns out that the other man in the car was James's father, who was apparently unaware of his terrible intentions. Arcadia, California on September 29, 2019, a shocking moment was documented on a door ring camera. When an unknown woman was nervously directed towards someone's house. And she started knock on the door repeatedly. Moments later, a man appeared running after her, grabbing her by the hair and dragging her away. The man in this video is 27-year-old Robert Michael. It turns out he is the woman's ex-lover. After the breakup, Robert dragged her away. Then he forced her to walk in the street until they reached his house. He held her there against her will. After the homeowners reported the incident to the police, they began knocking on doors until they found Robert and arrested him. The entire kidnapping operation lasted a terrible 16 hours. The woman was taken to the hospital after serious injuries. She survived the attack in the end. At 1:30 a.m. on February 6, 2019, in an office building in Irvine, California. A man carrying a skateboard can be seen approaching a woman who was cleaning the place at night and then asking her, "Are we alone?" She answers yes. After she takes out her mobile phone to call help, the man pulls out a gun.
محمول للاتصال بالمساعدة يسحب الرجل
He approached her,
مسدسا
raised the
اقترب
gun,
منها
and
ولوح
threatened to kill her.
بالمسدس وهدد بقتلها. بعد ذلك
He
جبرها
then
على
forced her
الدخول
into a
إلى مكتب
nearby office
قريب
and tried to
وحاول
harass her.
التحرش بها لكنها تمكنت من الدفاع عن
But she
نفسها
managed to
والهروب.
defend herself and escape. The man in this video is 25-year-old Eduardo Gonzalez, and after the police removed the video, his manager at the Sprouts grocery store in Tustin, California, was able to identify him. In the end, Gonzalez was convicted of sexual assault from 7 years to life in prison. In your opinion, what is the most dangerous incident that has been filmed? If you like this type of video, tell me in the comments. I will post more of them.